So, you want to clean your PlayStation. Well, I can help you with that. Now, if you leave your PlayStation over a few months, it can get pretty dusty. And it's pretty important to clean it because over time, dust can clog all the air vents and stuff, and your PlayStation can heat up a lot. And over continuous use, your PlayStation could get damaged. And cleaning it will prevent that. So you'll want to clean it every couple of months at least. I haven't cleaned mine for a while, so it's pretty dusty. So yeah, I'll show you how to clean it. First thing you want to do is take off the stand. So if you've got it in the vertical position, all you want to do is just like unscrew this. You already know how to do this, I'm sure. Now just put that in there. Oh, other way. Put that in there to keep it safe. And put it aside. Now, first thing, to take these side panels off, just lift top left of the PlayStation up. Just lift it up slightly. And then gently slide to the left. And then it'll come off. Now these two dots here go into these holes right here, and that's what prevents it from sliding off all the time. So lifting it up makes these dots, makes it clear of the hole, and it lets you slide it across. So once you got this off, just brush it off, just clean it a bit, and then set it aside because that's not important. Now, what you want to do next is grab your brush and just quickly brush all around here. Now, I've already made one take so far of this, so I have already started cleaning this side, so it's not as dusty as what the other side will be. Now just clean this off. You can take this vent off, just lift from the middle of it. It might feel like you're damaging it, but you're really not. Just like grip it and lift up gently, and it should come off. And then there, just gotta keep lifting and it should come out. Now this is already been cleaned because I already had one take so far. So once that's clean, just set it aside, not important, and just dust the rest of this out. Now, once you're up to this step, you'll want to get yourself a vacuum. This will help you suck out all the dust from here. So these slits here, you might think they're just, I don't know, for airflow, but they're actually for vacuuming your PlayStation. They're vacuum holes. It makes it easier to clean your PlayStation if you're not that confident with taking it apart. So all you want to do is grab your vacuum with this attachment and then just vacuum these holes, and then it should suck out some of the dust. And now that's all done. So this side is actually very clean now. It is absolutely spotless. So now that's all clean. Just simply flip over your PlayStation. And now since it's on the other side, just you want to lift up the top right of the PlayStation. So it's always, the holes are always at the back of the PlayStation. So wherever the back's facing, just lift up from there. So the top back of the PlayStation, just lift up and then slide, and that should come off. Now just I don't know if you can see that dust, but it's pretty dusty. Oh yeah, it's coming off heaps. Alright, so just dust that. Now that's all clean. Just set that aside. And now again, just lift up from the middle. Wait, I'll get in a better position here. This one's kind of hard to get off. I'm not sure why. There we go. Now, yeah, it might be a bit hard to get off, but don't worry. You most likely won't break it, so it's fine. There we go. Now, that's all clean. Set that aside again. Now from here, you got your fan, which you can take out, which I'm going to take out, but you don't really have to. If you're not very confident with taking apart technology and stuff, don't worry about it. All you got to do is just dust all this out. And then just dust all these fins. And then get your vacuum and then just vacuum all of the little holes you see, and just the fan cover, just vacuum all that, and it should make it pretty spotless. Alright, that's all clean now. So that's the first stage of cleaning your PlayStation. You can do that and that'll do a pretty good job. But if you want to do a real deep clean of your PlayStation, get rid of like most of the dust, then you want to do this next step. So, well, first of all, you can remove this because some dust can build up in here, and if you do have a SSD in here, it's good to clean it out just in case, because airflow does come through here. You can see there's air slits here, and there's another slit inside that I can show you. So you want your screwdriver. Once you have it, I think, yeah, just a small screwdriver, just like this. Now just all you want to do is unscrew that. Whoops. Alright, so now that's off. You can see, maybe, I think, right under there, right underneath the plastic, there's a slit where air can come through, and there's also a bit right here, that hole there, which air comes out and it flows under your SSD and over it, and the air escapes out through these slits like you saw. So it can be pretty good just to dust it, just to make sure. And if you are running out of storage, I would recommend doing that. All you got to do for this is just get your screwdriver, so I'm pretty sure your SSD should come with a screw to screw it in. It'll just be like that. I think it might be provided with your SSD. It should be. So you have your SSD. Now I would recommend a heatsink, because heat sinks help with the performance, because your SSD can get pretty hot when it's, you know, working and stuff. So once you have it, you have the heatsink on, just line up these two what are they called? I don't know. Teeth. Make sure they're lined up to the slot in here, and just simply put it in. You'll also want your standoff screw, and just put it in the designated screw hole right there, and this will separate your SSD from the metal right here. So once you have that in, just get it all the way in. Make sure it's all the way in. Just get your standoff in the right place, and then get your screw and simply just line it up, get it there, and just screw it in. Now you don't want to screw it in too tightly, because it doesn't really need to be screwed in that tightly, because it doesn't move when this isn't screwed in very much at all, and it still doesn't move, so that'll be fine. So that's how you get your SSD in, if you're wondering. Now just close that out and then screw that back in. And that's the SSD done. So now, if you want to clean out most of the dust, I'm not very comfortable with opening my whole PlayStation up. So once you've got this all done, all you want to do is flick up this sticker. It has an adhesive, so it sticks to that. So don't worry about pulling it off, because it'll stick back. And then all you want to do is just pull that out. If you don't have nails, then just use pliers. You can use pliers to pull it out, but I have nails, so I can just use them to pull it out. Make sure you don't do it with the cables. Actually pull it out from the side of the white thing. I would recommend pliers, because it is pretty hard to get it out. And then just get that cable out. Now unscrew these screws right here. Now these are all different screws. 2 of them are the same, but most of them are different. But there's colored triangles to show which screws go where, and I can show you that after I clean it and when I screw it back in. So there's one short thick screw, and there's 2 of these thin screws, and there's another taller one like that, and this is another one of the thin ones. So the thin screws, the twin screws that you have, they go in these 2 triangles. One of them's next to where the cable is, the other one's next to the SSD slot, so they both go in there. This big tall one, there's a double triangle here. It's like a triangle and then a triangle on the inside. That goes there. And then your little screw goes close to the SSD spot, but it points out that way to the front of the PlayStation, so that goes in there. Now, once you've unscrewed it, just take this off. That looks pretty clean. And that's all out, so that is very dusty. So all you want to do is just dust that out. So once this is all dusted, it should be pretty clean. Just get your vacuum if you want to, and just like vacuum the rest of this. The vacuum won't do too much of cleaning on the fan, so you'll want your brush for cleaning the fins. Take your time with this because the fins usually have a lot of dust on them. I'm still wiping off dust, but it doesn't really need to be perfectly clean. Just get the big chunks of dust off, and that should be fine. Now that's clean. Now the next thing you can do, a lot of dust collects on the inside of it, and then it gets caught in the vents of it. There's a lot of dust coming off of there. Now, all you gotta do is use your brush and brush all in there. Now, once that's all brushed out, just get your vacuum and carefully just vacuum all the fins and around like where the fan is. Now, if you've brushed all the fins out, the dust should be pretty loose now, so you can flip this back over and get your vacuum, and your vacuum should suck out more of the dust. And that's all done. So now, to put it all back together, first we want to get the fan looking nice and clean, and you want to get the cable facing towards this way and just put that in. And these two holes here, there's like little knobs which hold it in place. Just line it up with that and make sure the cable's like routed under here, and plug it in, not with the cables, plug it in by the sides of the white case, I guess, and just put the sticker back on. And then you want to get the fan grill, and just this little lump here that just goes over the cable, so that's pretty easy. And then, like I mentioned before, just get the two twins here and just put that in, that one next to the SSD slot, put this one next to the cable, put this big one to the top of the PlayStation, and then this one facing the front of the PlayStation. And then screw in all the screws. Don't fully tighten them until all of them are screwed in, and then fully tighten them. Just screw them all in and then fully tighten them first. So screw that in, screw that in, and screw that in, and then you can fully tighten all the screws. Now you don't need to tighten it too much because it's only a fan grill. Now, just dust all that. Make sure that's all clean. Now you can also dust the back of it because the back of it can get pretty dusty, but it's not too important because the dust back here is only going to blow away from the PlayStation. It's not actually going to go inside of it because this is the exhaust of the PlayStation. And now that's all clean. So now if you're having trouble with putting it back together, I guess I can just show you that as well. So get your fins, air fins, I think, is that what they're called, and just put one of them in each side of the slots. There's like 2 slots on each side. Oh wait, this is the wrong one. Make sure it's the right one. The right one will fit properly into the slots on each side. And then once they're in both slots, just press down and it will click into place. And then just do the same on the other side. and that's all good. So now we need to put the side panels on. So depends what side your PlayStation's on right now, but when it doesn't have the PlayStation logo, just get the one without the PlayStation logo. And where the holes are, just make sure these dots are lined up, and then just make sure they're facing the right way, and then just get it in position. It should like fall into the little slots where the pegs go in, and then just gently slide it in, find where it is, and then once it's slid in, just click it back into place. And then do the same for the other side. This side's easier because it has the PlayStation logo, so just line up the PlayStation logo with this glossy material, and then simply just get it in position and then click it in place. Now, get your stand. You know how to do this, I'm sure. Put it in place, screw that in. And then that's all done. So now you can just put your PlayStation back in place and plug it in. So yeah, that's it. That's all you have to do to clean your PlayStation. And yeah, that's about it. And I also like to get a microfiber cloth, but I don't have that right now, so I'm just gonna wipe that down, make that look nice and clean, and then that's all done. So yeah, hope that was helpful, and I'll catch you on the next one, I guess. See ya.